Well, good afternoon. It is Saturday. It's at like 2:30, and I mentioned how important it was to get out and working out just a couple of days ago. And I haven't been too good at that because I've been so busy. And yesterday, 2 days ago, I never went to bed, stayed up all night. And last night, I didn't go to bed until midnight after working for 16 hours. And I slept until 1 p.m. today. So I woke up, I did some house chores for the wife, and I'm like, you know what? I just need to get up and get moving. So I'm gonna go for about a 3-mile run maybe, and probably run up to the river, and then we'll get back home, get showered, and figure out what work needs to get done. All right, so it's time for some honesty and truth here. And this is what you don't get with a lot of other channels. Everybody just wants you to see the wins, but not the setbacks. And for that reason and that reason alone, you know that everything you see on this channel, whether business or life or fitness, is the truth. So just for that, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. I told you before, my goal is to my goal is to work out 7 days a week. That's what I'm used to. It's my normal. I played high school baseball, basketball, college baseball, basketball, graduated college in 2016, continued to play in baseball and basketball for another 4 years in a post-college league, which was like a kind of like a semi-pro team, but we didn't get paid. But I did that until 2020. 2020 hit, COVID, they shut down all sports. So I've not played a competitive sport since 2020. Here we are in 2025. I wanted to join last year, wasn't able to. Business, too busy. Wanted to join this year. I have a son on the way. I got a call not too long ago about joining the team for baseball. Couldn't do it. Got a son on the way. And unfortunately, it's just not going to work out. So I say that to say, after I get them playing competitively, 7 days a week work out, whether that's going to the gym, whether it's running, whether it's Pilates, whether it's HIIT training, whether it's yoga, 7 days a week. Sunday's my rest day. I say rest day, it's normally stretching, yoga, meditation, things like that. So now here we are. I just told you a couple of videos ago, I think it's been like 2.5, 3 weeks since I've worked out. And I hate saying that, but it's the damn truth. I've unfortunately allowed business, and when I do have some free time, relaxing time, to take precedent over my fitness. And that's not okay. And that's something I'm not proud of, but I did and it happened. So for the last couple of weeks, I haven't been working out. So today, okay, I just told you, want to run 3 miles. 3 miles, no problem, straight through. I get to about 1.5 miles, I feel like I'm gonna pass out. Now mind you, it's 90 degrees outside, right? I'm running at a 8:50 pace, so normally I can run a 3 to 5 mile in about 9 per mile. And obviously that's just not on the cards for me right now. I was running 8:50, I feel like I'm gonna pass out, hot as hell. And ultimately, why? It's because I haven't worked out in a couple weeks, and I can't just expect to come back, run a sub-9 pace, sub-8 pace, and just run 3 miles. It's just not gonna happen. It's a setback. So now what? Okay, now we reevaluate. We know where we are. We know what we're used to, what our baseline is. How do we get back to that? And then once we get back to it, we make sure we never come back to this point again. And then once we get back to it, let's exceed our baseline and let's get improvements. And that is life, you know? Something doesn't work out, you fail at something, you figure it out. Why? Come up with an issue. What you come up with your fix, and then you replace your issue with the fix. So beautiful, hear it. God. Anyhow, all right, I'm gonna pump out this last like mile. So get back to it. Get back. So a few hours have passed. Basically got back and was just working solely on the website for probably 3 hours. And now it's 5 o'clock and we're heading down to one of my clients for dinner. And then we're meeting one of my other clients there for dinner. So it's 2 clients for dinner. Gonna be a good dinner Saturday night. Just looking forward to it. It'll be a good night. Waiting on the wife, and we'll be heading down for a good Saturday night dinner. Well, it's the next day, and happy Sunday. This isn't something that I really plan for in these vlogs. If you know, I try to do them all same day. But yesterday's vlog was very short and it didn't really have much into it. I got just caught up yesterday. I mentioned we went to dinner, and then after dinner I came home and I just spent some more time working on the website, and then I decided to relax a little bit without even realizing that I didn't have this video done. So rather than just put a video out with really no true substance, I wanted to at least come back a little bit. And so if you've been following my channel for a while, you know that as a filmmaker, I always like to do cinematic vlogs. I always like to add a lot of post-production in the videos. And that's the reason why I don't post as much up until recently. It's because I always try to make these perfect vlogs that have all this editing and anymore. If I'm going to post this channel, I don't want to do that. I don't have the time to do that, if I'm being honest. I mean, you guys have came with me on these days almost every day for the last week. And, you know, if this is going to get done, then we just got to put these videos out. So, but my point is, if you notice, every video that I'm putting out has massive amounts of learning material, study material, insight, things that I apply into my life for my businesses. And if anything, learning lessons myself and telling you about the mistakes I've made and lessons to learn. But every video, there's so much purpose filled in with those videos. And if that's something that you're looking for, then, you know, this is exactly where you want to be. You know, if this is the first video you're here for, I'm taking you behind the scenes every single day of building these businesses. The only day that I basically don't is on Sunday, but here we are on Sunday. But every day I'm just taking the camera with me, filming, talking about what I'm doing, my thought process and building these businesses, my media business, my real estate business, my various other businesses. And I'm explaining to you literally my thought process, how I do things, why I do things, lessons I've learned, mistakes I've made. And that doesn't come with a lot of editing. That comes with raw, hard truth. And that's what this is. So if that's something that interests you and you like that style, you like what you're hearing, then please hit that subscribe button, because ultimately my goal, really for the first time ever on YouTube, is to get monetized. I've always just made videos on YouTube when I have, because I've enjoyed it, and I do enjoy it. That's why I do it. But this is the first time where I know I've got plenty of substance. I've got enough learning material, enough teaching material, enough experience, enough interest to be able to get monetized. So if you would love to help support that and join the family, then please, as I mentioned, subscribe. But for today, on this drive to church, because that's where I'm heading, I don't have the wife with me today. I'm volunteering at church today, so I've got to be there pretty early. So I'm using my racing background and my truck background, and I am volunteering to do some van driving for the church and pick up the elderly and take them to church. So I say all that to say, in life, you're going to get opportunities to be able to volunteer. You're going to get opportunities to be something bigger than yourself. And to me, those are the days that matter so much more than anything that you could ever do, because it's not about you. It's about A, God, but B, being there for someone when they need it. And in business, you're going to need friends. You're going to want a network of people who trust you, who want to work with you, and who they know your character. And I always get asked this question, how do you get your clients? And outside of making the videos that I have, I'm going to be honest and say that literally one of the number one ways I get clients is truthfully because of who I am as me. People love working with people who have values that aren't just about themselves. And this might sound arrogant. I'm just sharing raw truth with you and what I've experienced. People like people that help others. People like working, at least my clients like working with faith-backed businesses, people who have the utmost faith in their business. And ultimately, that is exactly, excuse me while I make sure my directions are right here. And ultimately, that is exactly what people love working with. So I think a big part of business and a big part of life is making sure that you're going through it with the right people next to you, the right people next to your side. But how do you find those people is by being your true, authentic self. It's just like in a relationship. In a relationship, if you try to be someone you're not, eventually that person is going to catch on. But then what you come to find out is, while you're pretending to be someone else, and then you finally fall back into who you really are, that person's going to be like, well, you've changed. Or they're going to be like, well, this isn't who you normally are, so why are you doing this instead of that? And then it causes conflict. And then ultimately, it'll lead to the end of the relationship. So in a relationship, I've been with my wife now for 6 years. In a relationship, the whole point is to find like-minded people. And in business, when you can partner with like-minded individuals, like-minded business owners, that leads you to great success. So make sure you know what your values are, your instilled values, what those are, and ultimately live your values. Live what you believe. Be who you want others to know you to be. And that starts behind closed doors, because behind closed doors, who you are, how you act, is how you're going to reflect outside in the public eye. Like, if you have a horrible reputation, no one's going to want to work with you. But if you're known for values, if you're known for faith, if you're known for having great work ethic, and you're known for being very personable, that goes a very long way. And I know another key point about just being yourself and being personable is that there are many companies that I've worked with and businesses that I've worked with, and the reason they love working with me, and at times when I've had a small team, is because it's literally, you're working with the heart of the brand. You're working one-on-one with people who have dedicated interest in your business, because of what we previously talked about, how I price for goals. I don't price for services. So I have a vested interest in your business. You have a vested interest in me because I have a vested interest in your goals. So when you align, it just becomes one polished unit. So today, out of everything that I said, take that as your values are going to determine the type of clients that you get. When you start working in the public eye, clients talk, people talk, especially if you have like a real estate client like I have. They're my number one client. And just as my real estate client was in Ohio 6 years ago, real estate clients have massive audiences, massive relationships. And if you are able to build with them and they trust you, then they're going to put the good word out into the public for you and get more traction for you in your business. Be who you want yourself to work with. That way you're not ever coming off as not yourself or dishonest. So with all that being said, I'm going to end today's video right here. I'm heading to church. I thank you guys for watching today. And as I mentioned, this video is a little bit different than usual. Normally it's all done in one day, but I didn't want to just give you guys what I gave you yesterday. So if you guys like what I had to say, If you didn't like what I had to say, if you have some comments, if you have some questions, whatever it is, leave it down below in the comment section. And outside of that, I hope you guys have an incredible Saturday/Sunday, because yesterday was Saturday, today's Sunday. So whatever it is, hope you guys have an amazing day. Peace out. And remember, you create your own story.